Fox 5 and Hot 97 present Street Soldiers with Lisa Evers.
Welcome to this episode of Street Soldiers on racism in the fashion industry. For decades, fashion has used black culture to make established brands more popular. Now there are major moves to demonstrate Black Lives Matter all the way to the boardroom.
Also joining us is Shia Douglas. She's a fashion designer and creative director. Shia, thank you so much for being with us.
Having me.
We really appreciate it. Shia, in terms of, we've heard this phrase that people say that the world loves Black culture, but they don't necessarily love Black people, because we see Black culture setting the trends in fashion, in sports, in music, in so many aspects of our lives that are being embraced by all kinds of cultures and all races all around the world, but yet there's still this racism, this underbelly that just doesn't seem to be addressed. Tell us what your experience has been like, and what do you see on this?
I have so many different experiences on different levels. One, to speak from an aspect of a creative designer or a creative director, working with music directors, working on sets, I can't stress how I've had to fight for inclusion and fight for representation on certain sets, in certain campaigns. There's been times where I've had to literally pull directors aside and ask are there any issues? I just want to make sure that we're being inclusive and we're being represented. I know that there are beautiful women of all colors, variations, from all walks of life. So, me, especially as a Black woman, I want to see women that look like me around, as well. And so I definitely have found myself in positions where even when I'm working, I'm, pushing that bar, and I'm pushing look, this is not right. I'm not seeing, the right thing here. So I want to address it while I'm here. So I think that that's very important when you're in these places and in these spaces, to encourage or try to have that change if you can, to speak up on it at any point. That's the way that we're going to come to a level of understanding, you know what I'm saying? Or begin to come to a level of understanding. So that's my experience.
But listen, in terms of the decision making and who makes the decisions, are you seeing, in terms of the, when we would have conference tables, but now it's Zoom conferences, are you seeing more people of color making those decisions about what designs get approved, what models get hired as the face of a particular brand? Or what do you see happening there?
No, I'm not. And to be honest, to be brutally honest, even working with some brands and some designers, I notice that there are small Black designers that have small businesses that design, and major companies are stealing from those smaller businesses. And those are things that I notice, and those are things that I speak on as well. That's something that I've experienced myself with a major fast fashion brand.
Shia, what about what Melissa's saying? Because it's also, there was a time when the white culture, or the majority whites, would not follow Black culture, but now it's the exact opposite. It's like they copy it, like Melissa was saying, to set the trend for everybody. What do you see happening in terms of women's fashion?
Oh, yeah. So for me, it's a total different experience. I have an experience from a creative directive side, and then from a fashion designer standpoint. Very early on, high school years, I'd started a streetwear line, a women's streetwear line called Dimes Only. And at the time, that was, I want to say, freaking 15 years ago. This is pre a lot of the fast fashion streetwear brands, that are around now. And, my experience for me during that time, being of that culture, living that life, growing up, everything that I lived, I put into what I was wearing. And that was super important for me. Not only was it the representation, but it was the story and the narrative that was genuine. And I feel like that's extremely important. And which is why, going back to my last point, it's important to include people like us on these boards, in these meetings, in these decision-making processes, because not only do we have the creativity, we have the element, we have the fashion, the everything, the spunk, but it's just necessary in terms of connecting and making it authentic, you know, and making it an authentic thing, you know, like you can't sell streetwear and not have a person of color on your design team. Like, you know, you can't sell me to me.
She, in terms of the trends for women, what trends do you see for women that are happening right now?
I obviously do. We all spoke on how we are seeing a lot more support of Black and brown women. We are seeing representation of the color variety, whether it's in cosmetics, whether it's in fashion, whatever. We are seeing that, and whether it's by ways of trend or by ways of authenticity, for me, I'm appreciative to experience it and see it, you know, like regardless for me, the state of what's happening right now, obviously it's just, it's a relief to see. It's sad of what everything, you know, what it took for us to be able to start to see some of these results. Yeah, but I can't say that it's not refreshing to see, whether it is, you know, temporary. You know, it's something that I'm happy to see.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers. We look forward to the day when equality for everyone is our reality. Remember, use your mind. It's your best weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace, love, and justice for all.